Hey there, pirates. Welcome aboard the Anime No Me channel. Guys, the introduction of Silver's Rayleigh as the Dark King and former first mate of the Roger Pirates brought with it an aura of mystery that surrounds Gomu Gomu Roger's entire legacy. I hope for your support to help our crew win, and to do so, you just need to click the thumbs up button, leave a like, and subscribe to the channel. By doing this, you will win an incredible devil fruit, so just comment which fruit you want. When Rayleigh finally sits down to talk with Luffy, the tension is palpable. The former member of the Roger Pirates, with his experienced eyes and measured words, is the only figure who can unravel the deepest secrets that Roger took with him to Laugh Tale. In a crucial conversation, Rayleigh finally decides to tell Luffy about a secret that goes far beyond what anyone could imagine. The true connection between Roger and the Gomu Gomu no Mi, the dark secret that links the fruit, the Pirate King, and Luffy's own destiny. Gomu Gomu Roger, in his youth, was always described as an extraordinary man. His strength, charisma, and leadership were unparalleled, but what truly set him apart was his ability to interpret the world around him, especially the poneglyphs. From the early days of his journey, Roger knew the world hid deep secrets. He didn't just desire to find treasure, he wanted to understand the truths that had been erased by the world government. Chapter 9-67 revealed how Roger and his crew reached Laugh Tale and discovered the One Piece. But what wasn't clear is exactly what they found. The joy Roger showed at that moment did not hide the fact that he also carried a burden. Roger's decision to surrender to the world government wasn't just an act of desperation. It was a carefully calculated plan to trigger events that he knew would change the world forever. Roger's relationship with the Gomu Gomu no Mi is a crucial part of this secret. As revealed in chapter 1018, the Gomu Gomu no Mi is not an ordinary fruit. It has been hunted by the world government for centuries. The fact that Shanks managed to obtain it and it eventually ended up in Luffy's hands wasn't a mere coincidence. But why didn't Roger ever eat this fruit? The answer, according to Rayleigh, is that Roger believed his destiny was already written. He knew that it wasn't he who should bear the power of the Gomu Gomu no Mi. The fruit, which is actually the Hito Hito no Mi, model Nika, was meant for someone who could bring a new era of freedom to the world. Roger, when reading the poneglyphs, understood that his role was simply to lay the groundwork for the true heir of Joy Boy's legacy. Roger's decision not to consume the Gomu Gomu no Mi is also deeply connected to the events of the Lost Century. Chapter 967 revealed that Roger found clues about what happened during that period, but he was unable to act in time to change the world. He knew he had to pass the torch to a new generation. The true importance of the Gomu Gomu no Mi lies not only in its power, but in what it symbolizes: resistance against oppression and the pursuit of freedom. Roger knew that by sacrificing himself and starting the Great Pirate Era, he was paving the way for someone like Luffy to emerge. Rayleigh may be the only one who could explain to Luffy that Roger's choice to surrender to the world government was not an act of weakness. On the contrary, it was an incredibly calculated move. Roger wanted his execution to be an event that galvanized the world. He knew that the words he spoke before losing his life would trigger a race for the One Piece, but he also knew that only the right person could understand the true meaning of the treasure. This person couldn't be him. It had to be someone who inherited his will and had the courage to challenge the status quo. In chapter 1000, when Luffy is compared to Roger, it becomes clear that he is the one chosen to carry this responsibility. The dark secret that Rayleigh reveals is also linked to the connections between Roger and the Lost Century. The poneglyphs Roger found not only told the story of an ancient civilization, but also revealed the origin of the Akuma no Mi and how they are connected to the events of that time. The Gomu Gomu no Mi, in particular, was created to be a weapon against oppression, a symbol of hope for those seeking freedom. When Roger discovered this, he realized that his own strength was not enough to change the world. He needed someone like Luffy, someone who could inspire others and lead a revolution. Furthermore, the mystery surrounding the Gomu Gomu no Mi, revealed as the Hito Hito no Mi, model Nika, raised a series of questions about its true power, its divine nature, and mainly why it chose Luffy as its user, ignoring other legendary figures like Gomu Gomu Roger. This revelation, which completely transformed the narrative of One Piece, leads us to reflect on what makes Luffy so special and how his connection to the fruit distinguishes him from any other character. Moreover, it forces us to examine the reasons why Roger, despite being an extraordinary man, was not considered worthy of becoming Joy Boy. First, we must focus on the idea that the Hito Hito no Mi is a unique fruit with a will of its own. It's not just a powerful weapon or a mere object of chance, it has its own will. Chapter 1044 is crucial for understanding this aspect, when the Gorosei reveals that the fruit has remained out of the world government's reach for centuries, as if deliberately avoiding their attempts to capture it. This suggests that the fruit, or the spirit within in it has the ability to choose its bearer based on factors beyond simple opportunity. Luffy, from the beginning of his journey, showed an almost instinctive connection with the Hito Hito no Mi. In Chapter 1, we see Shanks protecting the fruit as if it were something far more valuable than any common treasure. There's something in the way Shanks allows Luffy to eat the fruit that raises the question of his intentionality. Did Shanks know the true potential of the fruit? And more importantly, did he know that Luffy was the chosen one? This possibility leads us to the idea that Luffy didn't just find the fruit by accident, but that the whole event was orchestrated by a higher power. The concept of choice also reflects in the figure of Joy Boy. In Chapter 10:15, Kaido states that Luffy couldn't be Joy Boy, only for subsequent events to prove the opposite. The Hito Hito no Mi, being the key to awakening Nika's power, chose Luffy because he embodies the ideals of freedom, friendship, and joy that define the role of Joy Boy. Roger, on the other hand, while incredible in his time, did not possess this intrinsic connection to the fruit. Roger was a man of great ambition and charisma, but his focus was on conquest and the search for the truth of the world, while Joy Boy seems to be more about unity and inspiration through freedom. Chapter 967 shows us Roger at the height of his journey, uncovering the secrets of Laugh Tale and laughing at what he found. He acknowledges the magnitude of Joy Boy's legacy and realizes that he is not the man destined to complete it. He says, "We were born too early." This statement not only reflects his acceptance that the world was not ready for the advent of Joy Boy, but also that he himself did not possess the ability to fulfill that destiny. Roger may not have been chosen by the Hito Hito no Mi because his role was different. He was the pioneer, the one who paved the way for the next person to emerge. He gathered the poneglyphs, formed alliances, and challenged the world government, but his personality and actions were not compatible with the spirit of Nika. Joy Boy, symbolized by the Hito Hito no Mi, needed someone who could bring true freedom, not just to the world, but also to the hearts of people. That person was Luffy. In Chapter 10:45, during the fight between Luffy and Kaido, we see the true extent of Nika's power. The ability to turn the environment around him into something almost cartoonish reflects Luffy's carefree and joyful nature. This power is not just a manifestation of physical ability, but also of his indomitable spirit. Roger, as incredible as he was, did not have this lightness of spirit. He carried the weight of his mission with seriousness and a sense of urgency that did not align with the essence of Joy Boy. Another important point to consider is that the Hito Hito no Mi may have a destiny component tied to the D bloodline. In Chapter 576, Whitebeard states that someone would inherit Roger's will and challenge the world government. This inheritance is not just metaphorical, but also an indication that certain people are predestined to occupy certain roles in history. Luffy, being a D, carries that will, while Roger, although also a D, fulfilled a different role within that bloodline. Then there is the element of time. The fruit waited centuries for someone like Luffy. In Chapter 1044, the Gorosei admits that the Hito Hito no Mi slipped from their grasp for generations. This suggests that, as extraordinary as Roger was, he was not the right man at the right moment. The fruit needed someone who not only had the necessary qualities, but also was in the right place on the timeline to realize its true potential. If we reflect on the symbolism of Joy Boy, it is clear that he represents something greater than just power. He is the embodiment of hope, unity, and joy. Roger, with all his greatness, represented truth and discovery, but not the uncomplicated joy that Luffy brings to the world. This is evidenced in countless moments throughout the series, from the way Luffy inspires his companions to his ability to turn enemies into allies. This unique quality of Luffy is what makes him worthy of being Joy Boy and being chosen by the Hito Hito no Mi. Ultimately, the reason Roger was not chosen by the Hito Hito no Mi and could not be Joy Boy is intrinsically linked to the essence of who he was. He was a man of action, great ambitions, and an insatiable thirst for knowledge. Luffy, on the other hand, is a symbol of freedom and joy, someone who inspires change not through control or conquest, but through the power of his ideals. The Hito Hito no Mi chose Luffy because he is the true heir to the spirit of Joy Boy, and his journey is what will finally bring freedom to the world. That was today's content. We hope you liked it and want to share your opinion on the subject. Don't forget to share the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and stay amazing.